Hey everybody, it's your old pal Tom here from the Tom Gulley Show. Let me tell you about the twist. That's right, the dance, the twist. You might be thinking, what's so special about the twist? Well, I'm going to tell you, the twist is arguably, if not definitely, the most culturally significant and relevant and pervasive dance ever in the history of the United States. Probably no other dance affected so many facets of American life, and that's not an overstatement. Certainly in the field of entertainment, no other dance has done this. You can go back to the Charleston, you can talk the Running Man, you can talk the Cabbage Patch, you can talk the Macarena, you can talk, the Time Warp, you can talk really whatever you want to. It's not going to hold a candle to the twist. And we'll tell you all about it. This, of course, is our cold open. We do this especially for our audio podcast listeners because I'm going to play some music here in a second. And that music is really just kind of elevator music for people to get into our live interactive YouTube chat room. That's what it's for. But it's incredible music created by our musical director, Leon Kennedy. I picked one song that's like a girl group song, which is appropriate for the time period of the twist. And then we have a new song called Passing in the Night that, frankly, I listen to all day long here at the Tom Gulley Show studio lair and dance jamboree. It's really good. All the songs are about me or the show, so I love them. And all of them, have been approved for the twist. That's another thing. Anybody can do the twist. You don't exactly have to be Gregory Hines to do the twist. It's people in walkers can do the twist. So we'll tell you all about it. And, that's what we have on tap for you today. So I think the key thing to remember is how often do you dance? People used to dance. They used to go out and dance. That was a thing. Everybody used to do it, not just people that like electronic dance music, the boops and bleeps, the shirts and pants and shirts and pants and shirts and pants. Everybody did. And for a period of time, when they went to dance, they were doing the twist. So here's a couple songs, and then let me tell you about the twist.
The golden crown, Tom Gulley's ready, no time to slow down. His passing by an exit, like reflections low. You're leaving behind what you've come to know. Turn that dial as the white lines roll. Turning, the sun begins to rise. The lights ahead are burning as you rub your tired eyes. Turn up that radio as the lines start to slur, and just enjoy that familiar show. We're passing in the night, two strangers on the highway. On the highway, headlights burning bright. We're passing in the night, two strangers on the road. On the road, tuned into the Tom Gulley Show. All the greatest moments, Tom's voice from the dark, pulling off the highway, every stop's a stop. We're passing in the night, two strangers on the highway. On the highway, headlights burning bright. Passing in the night, two strangers on the road. On the road, tune in to the Tom Gulley Show.
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking tonight? Let me tell you about the twist, baby. If you weren't twisting back in the very, very, very late 50s through, well, gosh, well into the 60s, you weren't nothing. Not only were the people twisting, but all the groups were twisting, and the TV shows were twisting, and even the movies were twisting, and even super square governmental types were twisting. You just had to be twisting, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, before we get started, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. All these are absolutely free things that you can do while you are twisting. And they don't cost you a cent, and they help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing algorithm, which, if they had algorithms back in the early 60s, the algorithms would have been twisted. That I guarantee you. Plus, we have the super chats, the memberships, the gifted memberships, which can also be done while twisting, in addition to also as well, plus, you know, we have this YouTube description with the PayPal. And that's where Google doesn't really participate, and you give the most and I get the most, and nobody takes a cut. Although if they were going to take a cut, they'd be twisting. And we have the TomGulleyShow.com. Definitely twisting allowed there. There's all sorts of stuff there, including our merchandise store, which features a wide variety of name brand quality items. We got mugs and shot glasses and beer mugs and drinking glasses and koozies, and all of which are suitable for twisting. Now let's see what's going on in our chat room real quickly. Cher Okian says the twist is that in Die Hard, Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. I see what you did there. There is a beautiful lady that I had a relationship with for a long time, and we're still friends. And we had differing tastes in movies and a lot of other things, but I made her watch The Big Lebowski, which she liked. She was glad I made her watch it. And then, whenever I made her watch something, then she would get to make me watch something. And the thing that she made me watch was The Sixth Sense. She was very excited about it. And 20 minutes into the movie, I went, Bruce Willis is dead. And she said bad words toward me, which was not something that she did. She was not that kind of a girl. She did say some very bad words. Very bad. About me, suggesting that I may have had an unnaturally close relationship with my mother, and casting aspersions on the legitimacy of my family tree, perhaps indicating that I might be the offspring of a canine, things of that nature. Leon Kennedy is here. He created that new banger. Well, he created all the bangers, but the new one, Passing in the Night, which I can't get enough of, and it's got that piano solo, and that singer is going off. He says, thanks for spoiling Die Hard. Tom Gulley does the twist. Oh, I have twisted all night, and I've twisted again, like I did last summer. I've twisted again, like I did last year. And I've also, name of the dance is the peppermint twist. I have listened to more twist songs in the last 24 hours than you know. Leon said the new song rules. The singer is an AI invention I call Marcus Black. Let's see if I can pronounce this name right. Ray J says, the twist lives rent-free in my head. Leon Kennedy says The Big Lebowski is great. Guido says The Big Lebowski is the third greatest movie of all time. It's like Shutter Island, Tom. It's so easy to guess the twist. You can guess the twist, but let me just give you a piece of advice. Don't knock the twist. That's a tease. It'll come back later in the show. The twist, ladies and gentlemen, is a dance that was inspired by rock and roll music, like all great things. From 1959 to the early 60s, it became not just a sensation here in the United States, but a worldwide dance craze. And sorry, audio podcast listeners, but I'm now showing a picture that you might think was just a group of American kids out having a good time. No, that's actually in Germany. That's how big the twist was, because you know how Germans are about dancing. You know what I mean? So that must have been quite a craze. It drew immense popularity, and you're going to believe this. If not, you take this with a grain of salt. Give it whatever level of legitimacy that you hold to be true. But at the time, critics felt the twist was too provocative. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen anybody doing the twist, but it's not the most provocative dance in the world. And here's the thing about the twist. The twist was such a big sensation that other people tried to create their own dance sensations, right? And none of them ever reached the level of the twist. Let's not be crazy here. But it did inspire a lot of other dances. The jerk, the pony, the Watusi, the mashed potato, the monkey, the funky chicken. None of them. And I mean none of them were as big as the twist. It all started in, believe it or not, Tampa, Florida. Having seen teenagers doing the dance, Hank Ballard wrote the twist. And it was a throwaway song. It was a B-side of Hank Ballard and the Moonlighters' 1959 single, Teardrops on Your Letter. And I might also point out, songs about the mailman, the postman, and the letter that someone got, really big back then. Okay? My baby, she wrote me a letter, and she wrote me a letter, said she wouldn't leave back no more. I mean, a lot of songs about letters, anyway. Well, when that happened, a fella that really should be famous even now, he's passed away a long time ago. They always called him the world's oldest teenager because he never seemed to age. I'm going to show you an age appropriate for this time period picture of Dick Clark. Dick Clark. And he noticed the dance was becoming very popular among teenagers. And he recommended to Cameo Records that the more wholesome Chubby Checker re-record the song, okay? Because Hank Ballard and the Moonlighters were not as wholesome as Chubby Checker, okay? So Dick Clark jumps in. Dick Clark was the longtime host of a show called American Bandstand, which was huge. And American Bandstand went on into the 80s and 90s, I think. It was on for a long, long, long time. And that's where if you wanted to see a band, you'd see them. And they also had dancing on the show, which was a big part of it. So Chubby Checker re-records this song, releases it in 1959, became a #1 hit in 1960 because Chubby Checker was so wholesome and Hank Ballard was so unwholesome. I don't know. The dance, which was widely embraced by teenagers, actually became unpopular with teenagers. They didn't like it anymore because it became acceptable among adults. Okay? So they went, that's not our dance anymore. Grandma and Grandpa are doing it at weddings. We're out. But the song was re-released 2 years later in 1962, and guess what happened? It became a #1 hit again in 1962. It's the only time any song has been the #1 hit 2 times. By the way, a world record was set in DeLand, Florida on October 11th, 2012, when Chubby Checker himself sang the song live and the crowd danced. An estimated 4,000 people twisted along with Chubby Checker, surpassing the previous Guinness World Record for the most people twisting in the streets at one time. Now, I know some of you may be asking yourselves, say, Tom, I'm not familiar with the twist. How do I twist? Well, you're in luck. I am going to tell you how you can do the twist. The twist, as described by Chubby Checker himself, has 3 key elements. First is the stance, and these are the words of Chubby Checker. So don't think I'm trying to pass off some bargain bin, cut rate Tom Gulley version of how to do the twist. Nay, Jose. This is Chubby Checker's own words. #1, the stance. Prize fighter position. One leg extended forward and arms extended forward from the elbow. Number 2, movement. Hips swivel side to side as if rubbing oneself with a towel. You know, drying off and back. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, not to get too vulgar. The knees are bent slightly. As the hips move left, the arms move to the right. And vice versa. Keep that in mind. Number 3, foot movement. And this is really important. Twist feet as if putting out a cigarette. Entire body moving forward and back and from side to side. And there, ladies and gentlemen, you have it. We may reignite the twist right here on the Tom Gulley Show. According to Time magazine, the dancers barely ever touch each other or move their feet. Everything else, however, moves. The upper body sways forward and backward, and the hips and shoulders twirl erotically, while the arms thrust in, out, up, and down with the piston-like motions of baffled bird keepers fighting off a flock of attack blue jays. Look, man, a lot of people did not like the twist. They thought it was like sex out in the open air. I disagree, but, you know, whatever. For the late 50s, this might have been how people got it on. Where did it all start, you might ask? Did this twist dance these godless beboppers listen to? Did it just come out of nowhere? Well, the use of the name twist for dancing goes all the way back to the 19th century. Yes. According to Marshall and Gene Stearns in the book Jazz Dance, a pelvic dance motion called the twist came to America from the Congo during slavery. One of the hit songs of early minstrelsy was banjo player Joe Walker Sweeney's Vine Twist. One of the early dance crazes of the early 20th century was the mess around. That's right, the mess around. Later becoming popular from Ray Charles. You've heard him do the mess around. We're doing the mess around. Yeah. The mess around was described as, now anybody can learn the knack. Put your hands on your hips and bend your back. Stand in one spot nice and light. And twist around with all of your might. But the twist at this point was basically grinding the hips. And we can't have that. Blues singer Bo Carter recorded Twisted Babe in 1931. The reference in the lyrics apparently being a metaphor for sex. In his Winnin' Boy Blues in the late 1930s, the legendary Jelly Roll Morton sang, "Mama, mama, look at sis. She's out on the levee doing the double twist." In the 1953 song, "Let the Boogie Woogie Roll." And I don't know how you people feel about it. You know I don't like to talk politics on this show, but it's just wrong to preclude, prevent, stifle the boogie woogie from rolling. Can we all agree on that? No one should impinge the boogie woogie from rolling. Anyway, Clyde McPhatter and the Drifters sang, "When she looked at me, her eyes shined like gold, and when she did the twist, she bopped me to my soul." And those of you who have been bopped know just how euphoric that can be. But the simple dance that we now know as the twist originates in the late 50s among teenagers, as I mentioned, and was popularized by Chubby Checker in his preparation to debut the song to a national audience on the Dick Clark Show, which was different than American Bandstand. The Dick Clark Show was a Saturday night program, unlike Dick Clark's daytime show, American Bandstand, which was a dance show. The Dick Clark Show was a stage show with a sitting audience. Dick Clark, of course, was a powerhouse in music at the time. Let me rephrase that. Dick Clark was a powerhouse in music at the time, thanks to, of course, American Bandstand, which ran 5 times a week in the afternoons, eventually becoming just a Saturday show, but 5 times a week in the afternoons. This show was prime time. It was big time. All the kids are watching it. And it showcased local dancers and visiting performers who lip-synced along with their recordings. Dick Clark saw the song's potential very early on. And he saw the potential when he heard the original Hank Ballard version. But Hank Ballard and his group, whose biggest hit had been Work With Me Annie in 1954, they were considered way too raunchy to appeal to Dick Clark's teenage audience. He urged Philadelphia record label Cameo/Parkway. They had all these really ad hoc record labels back then, I'm telling you. He urged them to record a new version of the twist with young, wholesome Chubby Checker, who had displayed his talent for copying other artists on an earlier novelty hit called The Class. Released in the summer of 1960, Chubby Checker's rendition of the twist became number 1 on the singles chart in the United States in 1960, as I mentioned, and also in 1962. That's never been done before. Incidentally, here's what American Bandstand looked like in the early 70s, where it got a little more upscale and a little more mod, but they had local kids and local dancers just dancing. And you'd watch it to see not only the dances they were doing, but the clothes that they were wearing. And there were certain dancers that were like recurring. So there might be a guy or a girl that you thought was kind of pretty. And you'd watch it for that too. Now in 1961, at the very height of the craze, the people going to New York City's Peppermint Lounge on West 45th Street were twisting to the house band, a local group from New Jersey called Joey D and the Starlighters. Incidentally, the Peppermint Lounge, anyone who was anyone went to the Peppermint Lounge. I mean, name somebody and they went to the Peppermint Lounge. It was a hot spot. Well, Joey D and the Starlighters had a song they released in homage to the Peppermint Lounge called The Peppermint Twist. You know, they got a new dance and it sounds like this. Ba, 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 ba. The name of the dance is The Peppermint Twist. Ba, 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 ba. That song. Well, that song, The Peppermint Twist, became number 1 in the United States for 3 weeks in January of 1962. Also in 1962, the legendary Bo Diddley. Dunk, 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 dunk. That's what Bo Diddley is famous for. Bo Diddley released Bo Diddley's A Twister. And Bo Diddley recorded several twist tracks, including The Twister, Bo's Twist, Mama Don't Allow No Twistin', because you know how Mama is. And Mama Don't Allow No Twistin' referenced the objections many parents had to the pelvic motions of the dance. In Latin America, the twist caught fire in the early 1960s, fueled by, of all people, Bill Haley and the Comets. Now, if you remember, Bill Haley and the Comets are the ones that didn't invent the term rock and roll and didn't invent the term rock, but they popularized it with the song Rock Around the Clock, which we listen to today, and it's the most inoffensive thing you could possibly ever hear in your entire life. Put your glad rags on and join me then. Well, some fun when the clock strikes. Well, we're gonna rock around the clock tonight. I mean, come on. You could sing it at a grade school. Nobody would say anything. Well, anyway, Bill Haley and the Comets were no stranger to dance crazes or song crazes, so their recordings of the Spanish twist and Florida twist were successes, particularly in Mexico. Bill Haley, in interviews, credited Chubby Checker and Hank Ballard. Coincidentally, and this is not a coincidence, I say coincidentally with a great deal of facetiousness, Chubby Checker appeared in 2 musicals meaning movies, that took their titles from films that Bill Haley made in the 1950s. So in the 1950s, you had Rock Around the Clock, based on the song. Well, Chubby Checker did Twist Around the Clock. And in the 1950s, Bill Haley did Don't Knock the Rock, which had Alan Freed in it, by the way. And in the 1960s, Chubby Checker did Don't Knock the Twist. And sorry, audio podcast listeners, if you look at this movie poster, it says Chubby Checker in his first dramatic role. If you've ever seen this movie, I think in his first dramatic role is maybe the largest overpromise in motion picture history. It really wasn't that dramatic of a role at all. But it also proves Chubby Checker not only really good at appropriating other people's songs, he was also good at appropriating their movie titles. Yeah. Okay, so you want to know how many songs involved the twist? And this isn't all of them, by the way. This is just ones that made the charts, like the top 40. You had the twist, Hank Ballard and the Midnighters. Then you had the twist, Chubby Checker, number 1, 2 times. Then you had Let's Twist Again by Chubby Checker. I might also add, this might be my favorite twist song. Let's twist again like we did last summer. Oh, God, it's so good. And he's trying to revive the twist. He had such a big hit with the other one. You had Twistin' USA by Danny and the Juniors. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, some of these bands are squares by today's standards, especially the guy in the suspenders. Yeah, you had Slow Twistin' by Chubby Checker, which just, see, now that sounds a little bit vulgar. Thank you. You had Hey, Let's Twist by Joey D and the Starlighters, as I mentioned earlier, right? Hey, Let's Twist. You had Dear Lady Twist by none other than Gary U.S. Bonds. Yes. Who did 2:45 or something like that. He also did, he did a Springsteen song. Oh, This Little Girl Is Mine. Gary USA Bonds also did Twist, Twist, Sonora, which actually became kind of a big hit. You had Twistin' Postman by the Marvelettes. By the way, this is all in the period of just a couple of years. I'm only into 1962 right now, okay? So that was by the Marvelettes. And then a song you've all heard, especially if you've seen the movie Animal House, Twistin' the Night Away twisting the night away. Yeah. You know, you've heard that one. And then you had Twist and Shout, which was originally released by the Top Notes, but it became a hit by the Isley Brothers. You had the Twist Her, which is really vulgar if you think the twist is some sort of erotic dance. And that was by the Bill Black Combo. Not only could you trust your daughter with these guys, you could pretty much bet they wouldn't know what to do with her even if she showed up in a bikini. You had the Soul Twist. Soul Twist is a really good song by King Curtis, who was a favorite saxophonist of Buddy Holly. You had Bristol Twistin' Annie by the Dovells. There they are. Look at those guys. Aren't they clean cut? Yes. You had the Percolator Twist by Billy Joe and the Checkmates. And then Hank Ballard's got to get back into it. So he did Do You Know How to Twist? Then you had Chubby Checker, and this is just by 1963, doing Twist It Up. Chubby was trying to get back to Chubby was, man, he pumped that twist well dry. And then you might not think of it, but you should think of it. What about the Beatles? Who did Twist and Shout? Shake It Up, Baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Now, in a second, I'm going to tell you about some movies. Let me get to our chat room real quickly here. Ray J says, do the monkey with me. Ray J, when I worked at Cartoon Network, Johnny Bravo, by far my favorite show. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the monkey. The monkey has kind of an association with the twist. And so I will be discussing Johnny Bravo. Hard Archivist says the twist was a psyop by chiropractors to throw your back out and require their treatments to reverse twist it back into place. Actually, I've heard the twist is therapeutic for your back. The Wolf could tell us. He's here. He says, hello, peoples. Chef says, chef and crew in the middle of the rush. I'm imagining that the chef and his crew there at Geraldine's Supper Club and Lounge in Indianapolis are twisting while they're working the supper rush. Judy Tester says, put your left foot in at some point, I think. I think you may be thinking of the hokey pokey. There you go. The Wolf beat me to it. Leon Kennedy says, good night, Gullerinos. I'm up early tomorrow for work. Leon Kennedy, you rock. Wow, look at all that fabulous buttered toast hair. You know, man turns animal for the erotic pleasures of women and men, says the Wolf. Is that from a Rudy Ray Moore song? I don't know. Anyway, I already told you about some of the movies associated with the twist. One was Twist Around the Clock, Chubby Checker. Don't Knock the Twist, Chubby Checker. Hey, Let's Twist. Hey, Let's Twist. And that had Joey D and the Starlighters, who did the Peppermint Twist, of course. And then you had the Continental Twist, which was also known as Twist All Night. And for my money, has the best poster. It should say Twerk All Night by the position that girl's in. But anyway, you had the Continental Twist in 1961. And then the Twist in 1962, which is just a documentary about the twist. Now, in popular culture, the dance that got the closest to being like the twist was really a variation of the twist. And it was a similar novelty dance, and it was popular just about the time the twist was fading away in 1963, at least as a sensation. People kept twisting forever. I mean, as I'll get to. They've never stopped twisting. Well, the monkey was popularized by two R&B songs. One was Major Lance's The Monkey Time. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, and I'm going to tell you again in a couple minutes, the best version of The Monkey Time is by the Tubes. It is irresistibly good. And also another dance by The Miracles. This is before Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, when Smokey Robinson was just a miracle. He wasn't Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. And that song was called Mickey's Monkey. And both of these were top 10 pop hits released during the summer of 1963. Mickey's Monkey was a comical story about a cat named Mickey from out of town who spread his new dance all around. And that song popularized the monkey as a national dance craze right after the twist. The monkey is often referenced in the American animated comedy television series Johnny Bravo, in addition to every theme song, and many times in the actual show. Do the monkey with me. Oh, God, I love that. And by the way, Johnny Bravo, awesome opening song. The TV series The Simpsons also referenced the dance at least twice, seasons 4 and 8. The thrash metal band Exodus referred to the dance in their song The Toxic Waltz, with the lyric, used to do the monkey, but now it's not cool. And sorry, audio podcast listeners, look at Exodus there. How much wind machine do you have to get that much hairband hair flowing mellifluously? Anyway, and for those of you who are gamers, characters in the anime series Overman King Gainer do the monkey in the opening animation and in the show itself. But let's get back to the twist. In 1962, Dell Comics produced a one-shot comic called The Twist that fictionalized the Peppermint Lounge dance craze. Several television shows parodied the dance in the early 1960s, and it was popular to do this. The Alvin Show, yes, a cartoon, showed a parody of the twist called the Alvin Twist. The Flintstones legendarily had a version. It was called the Twitch, and that aired in 1962, as did the Dick Van Dyke version of the twist, which was known as, not the twist, but the Twizzle. And everybody was doing the Twizzle. Won't you do the Twizzle? Yeah, even Dick Van Dyke did the Twizzle. Certainly Mary Tyler Moore, a gifted dancer, did the Twizzle. You can see the singer, sorry, audio podcast listeners, you can see the singer up at the top in the middle, who was just a beginning actor. Wasn't a singer at all, but the Twizzle. Episode 24 of the Dick Van Dyke Show. Very legendary episode. The same year, 1962, the twist was featured in an episode of Leave It to Beaver called Beaver Joins a Record Club. Yes. I'm sure the whole family had a heart-to-heart talk about both the benefits and the detriments of tagging along with everyone else for a new dance craze. You know, Beaver, sometimes. Anyway, it was also mentioned in The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 2, where J. Jonah Jameson tells Peter Parker to buy some twist records with his money that he had made taking pictures for the daily whatever that they had on the twist. This next thing may show you just how big a thing the twist was. Because when the nerds get involved, you know, and I'm not talking about your regular everyday garden variety, good for the soil and the environment nerds. I'm talking about your high power, high level, governmentally placed nerds. The craze was so big that it was even referenced by the United States Federal Open Market Committee when their actions in 1961 were dubbed Operation Twist. And lest you think that was the end of it, in 2011, the United States Federal Open Market Committee revived Operation Twist. By the mid-1960s, the dance had reached, and you got to keep this in mind now, the mid-1960s. Who was the United States' biggest enemy? Who was just the evil empire? Who did we not like more than any people we didn't like ever? The Soviet Union. Yes, the twist even reached the Soviet Union and was popularized in a 1967 movie in the Soviet Union called Kidnapping Caucasian Style, because that's fun for the Soviets. It's like, hey, this dance is too erotic, but kidnapping, that's okay. The dance moves were described and visualized in the same manner as Chubby Checker described them, by putting out cigarettes with the balls of their feet. The dance itself would come to be seen as emblematic of the early 1960s and later years, with popular songs, television shows, and movies likely to reference it when they wanted to convey the spirit of that time period. In 1978, however, you're going to get a lot of references here, that this thing just has kind of stayed in the cultural zeitgeist. In 1978, the popular rock combo, the B-52s, included the line, "Twistin' Round the Fire," in their song of 1960s beach party film references, "Rock Lobster." Yes. The band Nirvana. Yes, Nirvana. Their song, Aneurysm, first released in 1991 on the Smells Like Teen Spirit single, prominently features a mention of the spirited dance in the first line of each verse, prompting its listeners to come on over and do the twist. Oh, yeah. Here's a twist reference that's made it even more culturally indelible. Quentin Tarantino's 1994 masterpiece, Pulp Fiction, featured none other than John Travolta and Uma Thurman dancing the twist to Chuck Berry's song, "Don't You Know You Never Can Tell," as part of the Jackrabbit Slim's Twist Contest. In Spider-Man 3, you Marvel Cinematic Universe fanatics, Harry Osborn and Mary Jane Watson danced to the twist. In season 1 of Mad Men, Peggy Olson and several other employees of Sterling Cooper danced to Chubby Checker's The Twist. Season 1, when that particular episode aired of Mad Men, well, that took place in 1960 when Chubby Checker's version first became a hit. And, by the way, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. We got to get the views up. We got to get the likes up. We got to get the subscribers up. I can't do it myself. I've gone down a door to door. I put an ad in the yellow pages. Only you can make this happen. Tell every man, woman, and child you hold to be true that they should do those things. Well, watch this episode, because this episode's a banger, and nobody's watching it right now. Oh, dear. Notice I ask for additional likes and all that stuff when I've got a picture of Lady Gaga wearing a bikini on screen. In 2009, a version of the twist was performed by Lady Gaga, and I am an unrepentant, open fan of Lady Gaga. You might not believe that. You might not suspect that, but it's true. I love Lady Gaga's music. I, without fail, shake my groove thing to Lady Gaga. I really do. Well, in 2009, a version of the twist was performed by Lady Gaga and her backup dancers in the official video for the song Bad Romance. Ra, ra, ooh, ra, ra, Gaga, ooh, ra, ra. You know that song? Yeah. That's the one. That's the one. Folks, I hate to tell you this. It's not something I'm proud of. It's not something I'm going to crow about to other people. But that's all I got to tell you about the most pervasive, influential, and long-staying dance in American history, the twist, and many other countries. For the love of Mike, look at these Germans going crazy for it. Helga, I'm going to get my sweater. We're going outside to do the twist. Mach schnell mit the twist. Anyway, that's all I got to tell you about the twist. I love the twist. Love everything about it. I love the hokiness of it. I just would like to reiterate one thing. If you take nothing else away from this show today, nothing, please, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you do, no matter how easy it is to fall back on the morals and beliefs that you have, no matter how much peer pressure you receive, no matter how unpopular you think it might make you with members of the community, no matter what easy lures of a fast and decadent lifestyle may draw you like a magnet to do otherwise, please, for the love of God, don't knock the twist. Please. Please. We've come too far as a society to knock the twist. What's going on in our chat room? Oh my God, the wolf's going crazy, man. Crazy. Says, how could they not have Twist on the Beach starring the usual suspects? Later, the Bedrock Twist. Beaver had a little brother that looked like him. Add Bud Spencer to your list. He was a fascinating guy. Team Brittany says Pulp Fiction. She likes that a lot. She wanted that trophy. There's a little bit of a controversy about that trophy that I ran across in my research for the twist. A lot of people think they won that trophy. But supposedly, just kidding, I hate that word. Supposedly, you can hear in the background of something in that movie that the trophy was stolen. And both things make sense. It makes sense that they won the trophy because they were so cool and they both did their own sort of take on the twist. But it's also very Mrs. Mia Wallace and Vince Vega to have just appropriated the trophy. So I'm going to get to the bottom of that one of these days. I got to know. Anyway, Team Brittany is here. Can we have a round of applause for Team Brittany? She's a moderator for a giant law tuber and very well connected in the broadcasting industry, I might add. And we always love to see her here. She's awesome. Wolf says, they call me nobody. They did not do the twist, and they call me nobody, I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Ray J says, you're not going to demonstrate the twist for us? That ain't circus. See, the person that you're referring to that says, that's what I call circus, and that ain't circus. That's not how they say it. That's not how they do it. He just took that and ruined it for me. He's probably never seen the movie. You wouldn't say it that casually. That's a big pronouncement in that movie. I don't think you're circus. You know, it's a real... Team Brittany says, do the twist. I'm doing it in my chair right now. I'm going this way and that way. Team Brittany says, Vince and I stole the trophy. Well, if you stole it, it's yours. Possession is 9/10 of the law, I say. Let's twist again, like we did last summer. Let's twist again, like we did last year. Oh, God. I love that song. Anytime in my personal, private, and business life where there's an unpleasant task to do amongst a group of people, and this is my symbol for group of people. Sorry, audio podcast listeners. I'm making a furtive motion with my right hand. I always start singing Let's Twist Again like we did last summer when we have to do it again or over. The Wolf says, I tell you, Lenny, she's got connections. I can't live my life in movie clips. You know, actually, that's not true. I have a good friend that one day, myself, my best friend, and his wife resolved for about 6 hours to only speak in lines from The Godfather. And we were able to communicate to each other quite well. It worked. It worked out very well. And it made us laugh. Makes no difference to me how a man makes a living, you understand? Anyway, that's all I got. That's the show. That's the twist. That's it. I thought it was a great topic for a show. Oh, tomorrow night, I will go into deep detail. And I know the titles of some of these shows. This is the magic of the Tom Gulley Show. The titles of some of these shows, you're like, I don't know what that's about. I don't care about that. That doesn't mean anything to me. But when I tell you about the Hall Mills murder case, still unsolved, they're never going to solve it. When you look at the O.J. Simpson trial, and you even look at the Lindbergh trial, this one is the granddaddy of them all. And I would say this one, maybe not O.J., because that's in the era of mass media. This one has so many ingredients. It's got an unsolved murder. It's got a scandalous affair. It's got religion. It's got wacky alleged eyewitnesses. It's got small town drama. And it's got a story that captivated the nation. The Hall Mills murder. Wait till I tell you about it tomorrow. I can't wait to tell you about it because it truly is a story. And I love shows where I get to tell a story and make lots of snide remarks about the story as we go through. Saturday, we will cover the inexplicable and forgotten TV hit show, Coronet Blue. Coronet Blue, nothing but blue. Well, it's a long time in... Which also, by the way, go to YouTube after the show's over, and I'm certainly going to post this on Saturday's show in the description. The theme song for Coronet Blue and the opening titles with their quick cut graphics and jazzy mod style, through the roof. Cool. We're going to cover Coronet Blue. We're going to cover why it was a hit, and then we're going to cover why you don't know about it. And then on Sunday, we always do a TV show on Sunday. Sometimes we do one on Saturday because I like old TV shows. We will cover the Rifleman, Chuck Connors, Johnny Crawford. Yes, Paul Fix. Didn't think I knew Sheriff Micah's name, did you? Well, I did. And I've been saying this for years. If they ever do a reboot of The Rifleman, there's really only one person that can portray Lucas McCain, and that is me. So there we are. That's what's upcoming on the show. Yes. What case again? Was it? Well, hold on. Team Brittany says, what horse? The Wolf says, whenever you're in a bad situation, you have to do everything in your power to twist or to make it worse. Team Brittany says, which case again? This would be the Hall-Mills murder. Hall-Mills murder. Yeah. The crew says, good night, Gracie. Good night to the crew there at Geraldine's Supper Club and Lounge in Indianapolis, just off Fountain Square on English Avenue. When guests of the Tom Gulley Show stay in Indianapolis, which never happens, they always eat at Geraldine's because the chef works there. The Wolf says, don't you remember me watching that? Wolf, I don't include you in any references to humans. I don't, you don't belong in those comparisons. Yes, I know that you've seen every show that ever existed, ever. I know that you have them all on VHS tape there in your lair. So I don't include you. You are the exception that proves the rule. I'm aware of that. Team Brittany says, oh, that was just solved yesterday, Tom. I hope you didn't prepare a whole show on it. Well, I'll do the whole show, and then I'll mention that it was solved. It's kind of like Jack the Ripper or Zodiac. Every couple of years, somebody says, I've solved it, and then it's never really solved. Team Brittany has posted an emoji of a ghost doing the twist. Coronet Blue and Secret Age. A side story, little tease for the Coronet Blue show. The star of Coronet Blue was a guy named Frank Converse, a legendary voiceover actor, very popular. He was in Falcon Crest and a lot of things, very popular actor as well. He did a voiceover for me for an ad for the Hoosier Lottery. And while we were on the ISDN line, I asked him, I says, hey, while we got a little downtime here, can you tell me about Coronet Blue? And you'd have thought he got hit in the chest with a wrecking ball. He big pause and he went, what? How do you even know about that? And so I started telling him all the things I knew about Coronet Blue. And this is way before a lot of this stuff was on the internet. And I still have it here. He sent me an 8x10 glossy that said, I love trivia. It was made out to me. Team Brittany is kidding. Like the shoe? I love the shoe. Crappy at Live says, happy to be here. We're happy to have you. But that's the show, kids. I'm looking right now, and this just makes me sad. I don't care about me. Sometimes I mention that we want more views and all that other kind of stuff, and we do. We really do. But if you think I do this show, this kind of show, and that I do the topics that I do thinking, oh, this will be a ratings hit, people will love this one, then you're crazy. But this one makes me sad. We got like 18 views right now. That's just wrong. I mean, I try to get to 100's my goal for every show. The Wolf says, I don't have Beaver's brother in the TV series he was in. Well, you'll get it. Doopadoopadoo says, hello, Tom and chat. I agree. The wolf is not a human. A human can't pick a fight with a tree and win. Nice show tonight, Tom. Doopadoopadoo. It's always so good to see it. Doopa's an OG. She's from way back from back then. Team Brittany says 1922 murder. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, man. That was newspaper stuff. They had radio, but it wasn't really, it was there, but it wasn't there. I'm about to go outside. Can you hear that? I'm about to go outside and go, can you frickin' kids go scream in front of your parents' house? Can you go do that for me? Like you just had your leg cut off? And if you can't, I will cut your leg off for you as a service so that you'll have a reason for your screaming like an idiot. Sorry. I know some people will hear me say stuff like that, and it's not attractive. It doesn't make me, I don't look in a good light when I say that. I realize this. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, you're just old and it's get off my lawn and blah, blah, blah. I'd like to point out, and the wolf can back me up on this. I've been this way since I was like 18. This is not a new invention. All right? I have actually given people instruction who are yelling at each other 10 feet away. And I'll go 20 feet away and I'll go, hey, man, can I ask you a question? Yeah, sure. Can you hear me right now as I'm speaking to you? Yeah, I can. Then why are you yelling at a guy 15 feet away from you? Can you tell me that? Is it, because I know in many dullards, the ears don't work as well to the brain. Anyway, Wolf says, are they part of the NWA? Team Brittany says they're crying now, Tom. I haven't gone out there yet. And here's the thing. After the show's over, I won't care. They can scream as loud as they want. While the show's over, though. But I'd love, hey, where do you live? And some of these kids today, and these kids back when I was 18, they're going, I'm going to tell my parents. Good idea. Let's go tell them right now. We'll do that together. I don't want to do that. You're not going to tell your parents because you know you're being an idiot. And I'd love to be with you when you tell your parents. Would love it. Would make my day. Dupe is laughing at Team Brittany. We have the wolf says they're doing the twist. Team Brittany says there. If they were out there doing the twist, I'd probably lay off them a little bit, but they're not doing the twist. They're not. Team Brittany says my response: parents? You have parents? It's just there's a park 3 or 4 blocks from here. There's a big clearing with some swing sets and other things. I don't know what it's for. Even closer than that. Go scream there. I don't know why I have to be subjected to other people's, And I feel for the parents. They probably said, oh, go outside and play, because they don't want to hear the screaming in their own home. And there's a solution for that. It's called make your children mind you. Oh, you can't. They just don't. Do you control every morsel of food, every thread of clothing, every internet bandwidth, microbyte, cell phone in some cases? Do you control all of that? Every electronic device in the house? Then what you do is you tell them what my parents, mostly my dad, told me, which was, look, I know you think you have some clothes, and I know you think you have some property. You don't. That's all my property. I bought it. I'm letting you use it, but it's mine. Unless it's a gift from your grandparents, or you won it at school, or you somehow made some money and bought. It's my stuff. Okay? And I will take it all back in a heartbeat. And I got no problem with you wearing a pair of purple Toughskins to school every day with a plaid shirt. I got no problem with that. Get it together. We don't scream unless the house is on fire or something like that. Then you can scream. Okay? Otherwise, we don't scream. Look out, parents. It's the angry giant, says the wolf. Team Brittany says, get a pig, Tom. Train it to bark. Why would I do that? I'd make bacon out of it, and then it's not going to bark anyway. Team Brittany says, I control all of that. It's all a mirage, kids. It's all a mirage. I'm telling you what, you take today's youngster's cell phone away for one day, you will think that you had chopped off a leg. When I was a school teacher, a lot of the teachers did not enforce the rule when kids got into class that we had this big thing with pockets in it that they were to put their cell phones in. And I would just, at the beginning of every class, go, okay, is everybody's cell phone in the rack there? Because if I see you on the cell phone during class and it's not in the rack, I'm going to take it from you. And it's going to be mine till the end of the day. Just till the end of the day. You thought I boiled them in oil. I mean, but I did it. I took it. Hey, Susie, why don't you bring that cell phone up here? No, I haven't done that. Hey, I said at the beginning of class, not here for my health. They pay me to do this. Come get it at the end of the day. Be waiting for you. Then I'd have to track down their last class of the day because I didn't want to take a chance of them forgetting. You know, here's your cell phone. Are you going to have it out in class, my class ever again? No. And then I would watch them as they took the cell phone and went back to their seat in the other teacher's classroom. So they didn't have the rule in the. Anyway, I've gone on too long. The good news that I have for you, though, the very good news, other than the Hall Mills murder tomorrow, which isn't good news, but it is from a storytelling standpoint. It was over 100 years ago. I mean, I think enough time has passed. The good news is I'm about to play Leon Kennedy's new banger of a song. Again, I could listen to this on a loop. The wolf says, it's such a wonderful thing to deprive kids of their favorite things. It is. That's how we learn and grow. I learned that by watching Mr. Rogers. Anyway, I'm looking at that old clock on the wall, and it says it's time for me to Amscray. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And so with all that being said, and all of the twisting that we've done, more popular than the Time Warp even, and with Leon Kennedy's new song, Passing in the Night, which includes references to the show and me, making it a great song, I think the only thing left to say is, till next time, we'll see you next time.
Passing by an exit, like reflections low, you're leaving behind what you've come to know. Turn that dial as the white lines roll, and tune in to that familiar show. We're passing in the night, two strangers on the highway. On the highway, headlights burning bright. We're passing in the night, two strangers on the road. On the road, tuned in to the Tom Gulley Show. Leaving on the turning, the sun begins to rise. The lights ahead are burning as you rub your tired eyes.